back, adventurers! This is Lucas TV Adventures, and in this video, we're going to give you 3 reasons why we think Disney is not going to retheme this ride.
That's right. So you can see it's on the screen, Splash Mountain. We're going to go through this ride while we talk about, unless you've been under a rock or something, you know what's going on in the world. This is a very family-friendly channel, so we're not going to go into some of those details because I know how that could be, just not necessary to talk about a retheming of a great, beloved Walt Disney World and Disneyland ride, Splash Mountain. Before I get going on a few things, Brent and I both look very red because we were at Cocoa Beach all yesterday. The whole family was there and we got sunburned, so that's what's going on there. It's not something wrong with the screen. But anyway, so yes, there have been people calling for the retheming of Splash Mountain into Princess and the Frog or anything else really, and it all stems from the Song of the South, from which the song and the characters are based. Brent, have you ever seen Song of the South?
Well, actually, I have not, because Disney took it down, and if you search it up anywhere, you can't really find this movie anymore. It's just completely taken down from almost anywhere.
Well, I'm not even sure. It's not so much they didn't take it down. It's just that it's an old movie. I don't know. A lot of streaming services didn't play it. Of course, Disney Plus decided that's new, so they didn't take it down. They just never put it up. So it's just not available. Now, I haven't seen the movie in probably at least 20 years, and so I don't remember really that much about it, other than the ride itself is based off the animal characters, Brer Rabbit, Brer Bear, and the Fox, and the Zippity Doo-Dah song. You can see a lot of that through the video you're watching here. The human, real-life characters in Song of the South are nowhere to be found on the ride. But that doesn't necessarily just make it right? So maybe there's a point, maybe retheming it is a good and appropriate thing to do, but we're going to now talk about 3 reasons why that still won't happen, whether you think it should or whether you think it shouldn't. And when we're done giving these 3 reasons, we're going to tell you what we think about it if they were to actually do it, how we would feel about it. And we actually don't agree. So for the first, name one good reason why they're not going to retheme these rides.
All right, so the first reason would be that Disney lost a lot of money because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So first of all, they make a lot of money off selling tickets to go to Disney World or any other Disney park around the world, California, Shanghai, or wherever else.
Yep, they all closed.
Yep, all of them closed because of the pandemic. And then in theaters, if they make a movie, they're not going to make nearly as much money because theaters are closed. And also, in cruises, the cruises are closed too. And in resorts, no one can get in the resorts. Because,
so pretty much
basically everything's closed.
Basically everything except Disney Plus. I imagine at the stay-at-home stuff that they actually sold some more subscriptions than they would have expected otherwise. But that hardly makes up for all their massive losses. So they've had to take out tons of debt in the billions of dollars to keep functioning. But they're a well-to-do company. They'll come back, no problem there. But still, with that massive amount of loss, they're hardly going to add what they would probably view as extra expense for retheming things that they didn't plan to do before. Which brings me to number 2. What's the number 2 point?
So number 2 is they scale down on lots of the construction projects, especially ones that they haven't started yet. Because, again, with the loss of money from everything else besides basically merchandise and Disney Plus subscriptions, they don't really have enough money to fund for some more construction projects. And this would take a long time and a lot of money to completely retheme the whole thing. So
yeah, Spaceship Earth is a perfect example. They already had the plans to. It would have been while they were closed. Would have been the last day of Spaceship Earth before they do a refurb on that entire ride. And that's just the inside of the ride, and the outside, the big ball at Epcot. That wouldn't have been changed. Maybe the exit area, that part of the building, but the ride itself mainly inside. And they scrubbed that, and they said it's on hold indefinitely. But other projects they've already begun, they're going to continue to do.
But this, they have to completely redo the whole thing. Outside, inside, almost everything on this ride has to be redone.
Yeah, especially if they're going to retheme it to Princess and the Frog, because that's in New Orleans, and there's no mountains in New Orleans, so that doesn't make sense already. That it's a mountain. So I don't know how that would play into it without completely redoing that whole area. But even if they kept the mountain and just rethemed some of the characters, it would take a long time. And that brings us to number 3 point, why they probably would not retheme these rides. Because what would that mean?
So the third reason would be because if Disney World reopens, they're not going to do the fireworks show, parade, or anything like that because everyone's just closely tight together. But then if they get rid of this ride to retheme it, like this is a main ride. Lots of people love this ride. It's one of the busiest rides at Walt Disney World and also at California. And people love this ride. And if this is gone, then that'll just make even more people not want to go there because they're paying for admission, but they don't want to if they're missing out the fireworks show, parades, and then possibly their favorite ride. So...
yeah, and so we know that July 11th is when Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios is going to open. July 15th is when Animal Kingdom and Epcot's going to open. But we really don't follow Disneyland very much, so I'm not really sure when they're opening, if they've announced that or not. But yeah, great point, Brent. The fact that is people already feel like they're going to be paying full price for less than a full experience by missing spectacular shows and the parades. But because of the pandemic, the virus, and the need to social distance, it doesn't make sense to do those things. But it doesn't take away from the reality that you're missing out part of the full experience. So the last thing they're going to want to do is close another major attraction because groups of people have been saying they should do it for whatever reason. I just don't see Disney doing it. Maybe they should, but I don't see them doing it. And
like for the people that want to retheme it, I have a feeling that more people will be disappointed that it's rethemed than happy. I have a feeling that.
All right, so that brings us. So we gave you the 3 reasons why, pretty much financially speaking, it doesn't make sense to do it at this time. But now let's talk about if they were to actually do it. Now, you and I disagree on this. Right? We talked about it briefly. I personally would love to see it rethemed. I'm not a person, we're not a family that comes to Disney World like every 5 years and wants to see an old classic ride and is crushed when it goes away. Well, maybe you are, but not us. We live 15 minutes from these parks and we go there all the time. There's the big drop. Ooh. So anyway, so whenever they retheme something or do it again, I get pretty excited about that. To me, that's a pretty good thing. So I actually like it. And I would say the one exception would be the Great Movie Ride. I wish we could have Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad in another location and have kept the Great Movie Ride. I hated to see that go at Hollywood Studios. But certainly
that was like a very unique ride, especially with like real people involved in the ride. Because there was like not only animatronics in the ride, but like in a Western shootout scene they had like real people there.
That's right. It was like nothing else you would see anywhere. I mean, it was incredible. All right, Brent, so I've given my thoughts now. What are your thoughts on if they rethemed Splash Mountain? What would you think about it?
All right, so there's lots of good water rides where like you go up and then there's a big drop. But my personal favorite one would have to be Splash Mountain because there's so much detail in it and there's so many animatronics. The ending is just awesome. I really love this ride. It's just going to be a shame to see it go because it's like one of my favorite rides now. And just all the detail that went into it, I just love it.
Okay, but what if the big drop was still there, but just the theming around it were different, you'd still get the experience of the big drop.
I know, but look, this is like one of my favorite parts of the ride. You can see right here, there's like a big boat right there, a bunch of animatronics, and just a bunch of cool little details hidden around.
This is a really cool moment of the ride.
Yeah.
It's a really happy moment, the zippity-doo-dah,
Zippity-yay.
zippity-lady is what the boat's called there. Yeah, this is a cool part. All right, so I personally...
just the amount of work that went into this ride and just how it looks like overall, it's just awesome.
All right, so now your turn to weigh in. Leave a comment down below. Assuming Disney were to retheme the ride, would that make you upset and disappointed? Or would you be happy to see it changed? Maybe a point or two about why you think that. Or you could just simply say, no, I don't want it changed, or yes, I want it changed. Whatever you want, leave a comment down below. Give this video a like, give it a thumbs up, however you want to call it. And we really appreciate the support. And we look forward to bringing you some more actual footage from like the day before, whatever we were actually at the parks. We're looking forward to when they open up on July 11th. I don't know if we'll be there the very first day, but I hope so, because we were there the last day, Walt Disney World and Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is where we were. on the last day before they closed, before the pandemic. And we expect to be there the day they open if we can.
Well, hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to leave a comment down below, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.